piece it together. For me, I think that I do a good job of the visual storytelling, but I don't know how to come up with that narrative sometimes. It's difficult for me. I can see what this scene needs to look like, but I don't know how to build it into a more cohesive, larger story. I wonder what makes a story stick for you, Kat.
Oh, that's a really cool question because I feel like that's a lot of when I think that's a lot of us, right? Like we're drawn to visual storytelling or visual design or visual experiences. Because I don't want to necessarily say like it doesn't have to be like a narrative to be storytelling. It could also just be an experience. It could make you feel a certain way or make you think about something differently. And what I call that is like that's my philosophy of like the magic idea. Like an idea is magical. What makes a story stick is when it has that emotional resonance. It makes you feel something a certain way, it connects to you emotionally, and it has that thematic relevance. It makes you think about something in a new way, differently, or articulates something back to you that you're like, oh, that's what that feeling is, or that's what that means. And when we combine both of those things, when a story has those two things, I think that's when it sticks. But a lot of folks wonder, especially like students that are drawn to film school and cinematic storytelling, or clients of mine, like folks that have written books, and they're like, I think this book could be a movie or a TV show, but I don't know how to get it there. And the place that I like to start is that zoomed out place of like, here's what's going to connect with your audience. That's what's going to create a story that is commercially viable. It's my opinion. It's from my years of experience. It's not like scientific, but it's like when a story has that, that's like the je ne sais quoi, that's like the stickiness, that it's like, yes, we get it. And that's what makes, I think, like classics, instant classics, or the timeless stuff feel timeless and relevant and resonant because we still connect to it in those ways after all these years. But the way to engineer that from like a narrative or writing perspective is to think about what are those components that go into that. And that's how you really build that story. When you start with a narrative and you want to focus on something basic, I always recommend going back to what, many of us have known since we, before we started reading, when we first heard stories and we started to develop our language skills. It's like, I think we tend to tell stories that have a beginning, a middle, and an end, and we might not always start in the same place, but